Hi everybody, it's Quinton Jacobs again from FitPro Q&A, and we got a great guest for you today. And as you can see, we're doing a Zoom recording because I'm sitting out here on the south end of Africa, while Arman is sitting in the south end of the US in Florida.
Yep.
And he's got daytime, I've got nighttime. But that's the beauty of technology, because we can chat to each other. And I'm really excited because Arman has got such a great history of fitness and training and a heap of knowledge and stuff. So we could probably spend a good 2 hours, but we won't do that. We'll keep it nice and short. Arman, give me your surname again.
It's Arman Eckelbarger. Yeah.
Yeah, and you said that's a German descent?
Yeah, the Stuttgart area.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Arman, you've been in the training and fitness for the last 23 to 33 years. 33 years.
Yeah, basically about 33 years at this point. Yeah,
okay.
I'll be 56 in September.
Okay, 56, and you don't look it. Really, you don't. I know that's one of the areas that you pride yourself in is the fitness areas. How can you help somebody like me who's 52 not look, 60 in the next 10 years?
Well, the things that I've learned and the things that I've been experimenting with different medical professionals and nutritional companies is your diet is obviously going to be critical, because when you run on high octane fuel, the engine burns really clean.
Yeah.
So things I've learned is most people eat way too many carbohydrates in their diet, because what they don't understand is what carbohydrates do. Obviously they're for energy, but they also can cause a lot of inflammation depending on how many you're taking in. Right. And then the excess carbohydrates, when you have them, they go into the muscles and the liver. So if you get too many, obviously there's no place for them to go. So they're going to go to the fat cell, and that would cause more accumulation of body fat. It's not so much the fats that do it, it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Protein doesn't really put body fat on you. Protein, typically your body assimilates that one way or another.
Yeah. And so are you basically saying no carbs whatsoever?
No, what I'm saying is when you have carbohydrates, if you want to keep a more lean body and have your hormones work at a higher level, your hormones need fats to run on. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you need a little more fat in your diet with proteins. And also proteins and fats are very acidic in nature, so they digest well together. The thing with carbohydrates is they're very alkaline in nature. So when you combine them all, you get a little more, that's what you get the bloating from. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you have carbohydrates, what I prefer to do with people is cycle the carbohydrates. So as you're training and exercising, you're burning off the glucose, the carbohydrates. So we're going to get enough carbohydrates to replenish that so that you stay lean and healthy. And that's why you got a lot of people doing a lot of fasting, is because it helps to deplete the carbohydrates as well. And then when you get the carbohydrates low, the ketones from the fat cell will kick up, and now you're going to be burning body fat throughout the day, not just quick energy of carbohydrates.
Okay. And does this apply to all ages? I I see on your website you specifically talk about men over the age of 40, but does this apply to everybody?
Yeah, it applies to everybody, but what's going on with men over 40 is also their hormones are starting to decline more, and they're getting more out of sync due to all the years of just what they do nutritionally and what their habits are, and alcohol, lack of sleep, stress, it all weighs on you. And so what you want to do is, okay, how can you try to minimize that without having to but still have some fun along the way.
Okay, well that's good news, because usually when people go on a strict either diet or training program, it seems like fun goes out the window. Not so with you?
Well, no, I drink alcohol. I have my moments. The thing is when the body's running at a good level and the hormones are at a good level, you can get away with a lot more. Okay. So also when you have more muscle tissue, it allows you to store more carbohydrates. So if you like carbohydrates, you want to get the muscle tissue up so you have more storage for them.
Okay.
So, it's like anything. you got to find that balance that works for you. Because when you're eating, a lot of times you got to eat what's available, and sometimes that won't be good choices.
Yeah.
But if you're doing an exercise and nutrition program that's fairly rounded, so it doesn't, doesn't put that kind of pressure on you, you can have what you want to have as you want to have it. It's a matter of what's right for you and what's balancing well for you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So have you got all of this in a sort of a program or a package? How does it work for me to learn about this?
Yeah, I have a carb cycling program. It's very science-based. It's got a lot of physician background in it too, with what I've been working with. But it just deals with how to use your insulin the right way too. Because you get too many carbohydrates, your insulin's going to stay too elevated. And that's what causes the snacking issues all day long, because it's like this. When and I'll get back to how I do it, but when you sleep at night, that's when your hormones are working. So you're burning body fat, okay, which is great. And the hormones are using those fats to rebuild cells. Okay. But when you have a nice shot of insulin come up from having a breakfast full of carbohydrates, what automatically happens is you shut off the fat burning process, because now the insulin comes up and then it wants to burn the carbohydrates. So then 5 grams or more carbohydrates can cause that to happen, especially if they're also high glycemic. So when that happens, as soon as you have it, you're going to want carbohydrates every couple hours, because that's your energy source for the rest of the day. You're not going to burn any body fat after that happens. You're just going to have the quick energy to quick energy. And that's what your brain's working off of.
Yeah.
When you minimize the carbohydrates and organize them and cycle them, you can make it so your body burns body fat a lot and still use carbohydrates just to replenish the muscles and the cells. So the carb cycling program I have encompasses that.
Okay.
And there's flexibility with it too, which is nice.
Yeah. Okay. So what's that called? Is it a program that you sell, or how does it work?
That's that program's called Total Body Reload.
Okay. All right.
Because what we're doing, we're reloading the body the right way so that you get maximum efficiency from the proteins in your fats and then carbohydrates.
Okay. And then obviously you have the training side going with that. Is that where your app comes in?
Yeah, now the training side, we call that dynamic recovery training.
Okay.
Everybody's got it different on the recovery. So there's certain things you want to be aware of. And since I've been training for over 30 years, I've tried a lot of different programs, and I still experiment, okay?
Okay.
But what's important, if you don't get the right recovery and you get overtrained, you're not going to get any benefits from it. Plus, it brings up your stress levels so much that your cortisol stays elevated, and that's hard on the body. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So going longer doesn't make sense, okay? You got to find that sweet spot of, if I do it for this amount of time, which I like about 45 minutes, okay? If I work really hard for 45 minutes, then typically that's going to deplete the body enough of the carbohydrates. It's going to stimulate the muscles. It's going to be more manageable in my schedule. Going an hour and 2 hour workouts is just it's not realistic for people who are successful and busy. They don't have that kind of time for that. So
absolutely,
you've got to manage your time with it. And I found that to work really well for all my clients.
Okay. Yeah, and what is your app called that people can look at it?
The online app that we use called the Tough app, which stands for Trinity Ultimate Fitness. The only way you can get that is you have to email me, and then I can set you up on the app. Is how that works.
Oh, okay, okay. So it's not something you go into the Play Store or to Apple.
You would eventually get it through the App Store on the Play Store, but you can't get it unless you contact me, because there's different things to utilize the app that I have to know for the app to be applicable for you.
Yeah. Okay. So your training, is it a sort of a mix of cardio as well as strength training, muscle training?
Yeah, like a sample workout would be, depending on the person, like we're going to do upper body. Just say they want to do their upper body 1 day a week, their legs 1 day a week, and maybe their core 1 day a week. So that's 3 days of training a week.
Yeah.
The upper body, we'd have a 5-minute warm up to warm up the tissues, get the body ready for work, okay? Then 20 minutes of strength training, okay? And then 10 to 15 minutes of cardio, high intensity interval cardio to really bring the heart rate up, get that breathing going. Yeah. And then we finish up with a 2 to 3 minute stretch. That's a typical breakdown of a day's training.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. So is it within the app, you'll get a video demonstrating it and then sort of a sequence of, or a schedule of how that goes?
Yeah, we can coordinate the routine. With the app, it's going to lay out your workout for you. There's notes in there. It tells you. There's also notes for each exercise if there's certain things I need you to be aware of.
Yeah.
So if you have certain settings on a piece of equipment, you know how to set those settings up correctly, because we have to do that with our clients here. Or if you have an injury, what to be aware of, certain things to keep in mind, when to add weight, adjust weight, your rep scheme if you're not familiar with it. So, I mean, it's very comprehensive and it's fairly simple to utilize. So, but you can also message us anytime you have a question through the app, and it sends me a push notification to all the trainer phones, so we can get right back to you and say, okay, we'll just do this.
Okay.
So you get that nice turnaround time.
Great. Do you also have a facility where you train people in person live?
Yeah, that's in Trinity, Florida, which is basically in the Tampa, Florida area.
Okay. And is it how big is it? Is there a lot of space? A lot of people?
Yeah, it's basically 4,300 square feet of training space, and I have about 1,500 of office space.
Okay, that's great. So it's a pretty big club. What do you call it? A club or a studio or a gym?
It's a facility. It's a coaching facility is what it is. I mean, we have turf in there, so if someone wants to do some athletic work, we can do that.
Okay.
We have quite a few machines. So we have group training. So for people with something real basic, and we also have more advanced with our semi-private or one-on-one training if they need that.
Yeah.
Also a combination of trainings too. Then we have a 24-hour access with our app that people can just train using that.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing. You know, it's such a tough industry, the fitness industry. There's so many people in it. It's so competitive, and you seem
that
to.
It's competitive, yeah.
So did you, when you started off, did you just kind of happen to fall into the right niches and have everything going for you the way you do now?
No, I wish. You know, it's like anything. You have to. You got to go where the market's at. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, my initial start, I started in the park to get some clients, to train them. You know, had to deal with the weather and all that. That was kind of frustrating. But eventually I got a building, and then we just started expanding it from there.
Okay.
So the primary market push in the beginning was a lot of females have an interest in fat loss, and so we started working on that. And so that's been pretty much a nice focus for us.
Okay.
But again, with the people, you know, with what we charge, you know, this is not a $30 a month gym membership or, you know, $10 a month thing, because, you know, we give you service and we give you results. So there's no way we can do it for that kind of money.
Yeah.
So, you know, we focus, our pricing programs range from $99 to $300 a month, depending on what the person's goals and objectives are, and obviously their budget. So what we've done is, you know, we have the fat loss program, because people are very confused about that. And then since I'm older, I really had to get a better understanding about how the body ages to be able to accommodate my own results in training.
Okay.
So then I had to get involved with the medical community. And then what I found is people 40 and over are struggling, and they're struggling a lot. They have lack of energy. They got a lot of responsibilities. They have kids typically.
Yeah.
And they don't have any time. So we had to come up with some things, but they need to do something.
Yeah.
So we had to put together different strategies for them. And that's what I'm doing now, is catering that market.
Okay. That's it. So you got some qualifications through the whole thing, the National Exercise and Sports Trainers.
Yeah, that's my certification. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So you qualified. You didn't make this stuff up.
No. I got 30 some years of experience in the trenches. So,
right.
You know, and I have a lot of people I can talk to and get advice from, and run things by some therapists. And again, I got a medical community that you got to be kind of careful with the medical community too, because there's a lot of misinformation there.
Okay.
You know, for example, you know, a lot of people are on statin drugs.
Oh,
okay,
boy. Yeah.
And they don't even know what they do, how they work. And so the first question I ask them is like, well, do you know how long you're going to be on that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's like, well, I'll ask your doctor because they're going to put you on the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay? Now the question is that really what you need to have done? Because there's other physicians that don't feel like you need to go on a statin drug. Also, all the side effects and how it affects your hormones. It's not a lot of positives. So you got to understand, well, is this cholesterol situation one that really warrants that, or is there other things I could do nutritionally to offset that? Because most of the clients we work with, we take them off. They end up getting off of different medications because their health improves.
Okay.
And they take the blood work, the panels come back better. I also offer blood work here through the facility. I can give people blood work so they can kind of see what the improvement levels are. And so then they're like, oh, okay. And so the doctors, when they do see it, they're kind of surprised by what's going on, but they will take them off.
Okay. Okay. So you're not all about the physique and the look and getting the big muscles and everything. It's about wellness at the end of the day more.
Well, I do the other, but the thing is, the other is more limited. Okay, so for people that like, I do physique contests as well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting ready to compete in the over 55 Masters National this week on Friday.
Okay.
I'm competing Friday and Saturday for bodybuilding and classic physique in the 50 and over market. Okay, so I can prepare people for that. But that's a kind of a limited thing. So I help more people with the 40 and over because they have a lot of different needs in the first place. So I can do both. It's just a matter of, there's better numbers with the 40 and over.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and looking at your pictures on your Facebook and your website, you're looking pretty good. So you're a good poster child of your own product, right?
Well, my father was always really big on practice what you preach. And so if you're going to suggest something, make sure that you're not doing the opposite of what you're suggesting, because it's very misleading to people. So it's always grounded in my mind. And he's like, set the example, I guess is how you'd put it. And so if I'm going to work with somebody, I want them to have the confidence to know that, I'm doing this. And so I know what you're going through.
Yeah.
And the same thing with how we work with our clients. I don't try anything on my clients unless I've already tried it myself. That goes for supplements and things like that.
Yeah.
So I can say, well, here's what happened to me on it, whether it was a good thing or not.
Yeah.
They're going to take it. Here's what I felt. It was good, or didn't like that one. Or training wise, certain things to be aware of this training technique, I'm not a big fan of Olympic lifts.
Okay.
Because Olympic lifts can cause injuries because they're very technical.
Yeah.
So I'm more on the other lifts. I do squats and deadlifts and stuff, but I'm just not big on the clean and snatch and the jerk because of the way people do them, and I just see so many injuries from it. So CrossFit is not a favorite training technique for me. Now, if someone wants to do this stuff, we'll do it, but it needs to be really done carefully because they're very susceptible to injury because they start getting up in the weight. And you got that force and that momentum from throwing it, because you throw the weight a lot when you're doing those lifts.
Right.
So that can create problems.
Okay.
Just a quick note on that.
Yeah. I suppose we're talking about your physique as well. Do you not find that some people look at you and go, well, I might as well not start because I'm never going to look like you?
Yeah, I get that a lot. It's like, well, I could never, and it's like, I have a lot of people like, well, I don't want to get big. And it's like, we don't have to worry about getting big because it's a lot of work.
Don't worry about that.
Don't sweat that, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
How many people think that's just like it's going to happen? Okay.
Yeah.
So, you got to say, well, okay, listen, let's just focus on what you want to look like and what your goals are and how you want to feel, and let's work off of that. We can always look at the mirror and change. What happens with most people I work with them, they get started and they're nervous. Yeah. They don't know if they're going to be successful because there's a lot of failures.
Yeah.
Right? People get out there, they try this, they try that, but they don't have a support mechanism to help them know if they're doing it right. So they're really nervous. But once they start having success, then what we see have happen is they want, well, what's next? What can I do next? And then they just take it to another level.
Yeah.
And then another. So I had to learn how to make sure they got what they wanted out of their training. Yeah. Depending on what level they want to be at. Everybody kind of wants to take it another level. So that's where it's at.
Great, yeah. I spoke to a lady a couple of weeks ago. Did an interview. She's also is doing bodybuilding competitions, and she was gone through the different what do you call it? Different competition levels or whatever, or different types. You know, she's gone from fitness to bodybuilding to bikini. You know, so those
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, she's basically saying to her, it's more like sculpting than building, you know, because like you say, not everybody wants to get big, but
and you know, like some females want to have a better looking back to wear a strapless dress. They want a little more tone there. They want a little more rounder shoulders so the dress lays better. You know, I mean, or they want their arms to be tighter. So I got that. Or they want more glute, you know, more definite development in their glutes. And sometimes that can be a little harder depending on their genetics. Okay.
Yeah.
So we got to program the exercises to help affect those areas as best possible.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned the ladies as well, because we spoke a lot about men. You absolutely can train ladies as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good.
You know, actually more women are interested and they're more willing to actually pay to have training than the guys are. Guys like to try to figure it out on their own. Like, I'll figure it out on my own. You know, just give me some tips and then, you know, I'll put it all together. And sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't.
Yeah. True. So, Arman, have you got quite a big team around you with the training and marketing? It sounds like it's a big business you're running there.
Well, no, it's not real big. I mean, I've got there's 2 full-time and then 2 part-time. You know, I have some restrictions with where I'm at due to parking because the facility I'm in, it's a warehouse. So you only have so much parking. So, you know, we just cater to a certain number of clients that we can work with.
Okay.
Now, my online, it just got started because I finally, like I mentioned to you before, I finally found the app that can really work for people.
Yeah.
So we haven't really been promoting that yet. We're just getting ready to kick that off.
Okay.
Because we've gone through all the beta testing and the bugs and what happens with it, and things have gone really well. So now we're more, you know, I've got programming already set up in there, so it's easier to get people set up. And plus with the nutrition, it's already, you know, a lot of it's set up. So because every time you do anything, you got questions and people, what about this? I want to add this in, so we'll have to go in and add more stuff, which we can do. It's just based on.
Okay, so the app is your proprietary app. It belongs to you. It's something you develop. It's not a off-the-shelf kind of app that you just plugged in your stuff.
Well, the app's customized for what we do. Now, it's a company that knows how to do apps. So, but the one I found though is really, you know, this has been the best fit for us. So I've customized it based on what I like to have for training, what my clients like. So that's what the customization really is. Our logo's in there, and then you know, the program design and stuff like that.
Okay, excellent, great. Anything else that we've missed out? I mean, I suppose we can deep dive into so many of different areas, but I think it's been fascinating. So thank you again for your time. Where can people get hold of you if they want to get in touch?
Well, a couple different, depending on where they're located. My website is trinityultimatefitness.com. That's our local website. If you want something online based, and then go to totalbodyreload.com.
Okay.
Because that's the online program there. So I have 2 online programs, but one that we do here, then one on Total Body Reload. Okay. Outside of that, you can email us at info@trinityultimatefitness.com.
Okay.
Again, it's info@trinityultimatefitness.com. Or you can call 727-205-0427. I just don't know. It's internationally how many people want to call, but
no, sure. No, that's great. We'll put all of those links in the video as well. So if anybody's watching this, hopefully they're down below, and you can just click on it. You don't have to type up the address, and you can then maybe give Arman a call as well. Call him in the middle of the night. He'll take the call, right?
I'll probably go to voicemail. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you talking to us. And good luck with your business, and may it go from strength to strength.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.